with it, and went really well in August as well. You know, a little bit older, but this horse definitely can still step up. Was so consistent, particularly at the Summer Fort Festival, the second week of the August tournament here. And we'll see how he kind of sets the stage opening round here.
Absolutely, he had a great success coming out of August. He even won a Hunter Derby while I was here. So he's a versatile rider, and here we go. We're going to get our first competitor on the course. And for everybody's information at home, the time allowed in the first time around 67 seconds. So we'll see if that's going to be a factor or not.
So really normal 9 strides there up the first line. You see he's kind of urging Kupis forward. He kind of got a little bit lofty and landed shallow off that first oxer, which is directly into the shadows. Really riding forward there, does not get the distance that he wants into that double, but a great recovery. He reacts. This is another area where you can kind of create a bit more space with your horse drifting, because it's a really quick turn there to fence 6. Really square oxer into this combination. He's given a great ride. Has to ride a bit aggressively, but he's really reacting the right way, using all of his turns to get his horse moving forward again.
And here we are coming into first person to approach 10AB here. We'll see how he gets through this.
Stays out, ends up jumping it a bit left to right. A really good job. And we're going to be within that time allowed here pretty safely.
65.5 seconds with a second and a half to spare. That's Robert Blanchette on Kupis, and I suppose nobody should be too surprised that the first one's through to the jump off, and it's Robert Blanchette.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to call that his smoothest ride with this horse, but late in the evening, first out, jumping right into that shadows, he just kind of started a bit backed off, but what a great ride, and I think you'll see him come back way more ready to go and on the engine in that jump off.
Well, there's still a possibility we see him a little later in the 12 spot coming in on Chardonnay, so we'll see if he learned anything from that ride when we get to that point. And up next, it's a new horse around Thunderbird. I'm not familiar with this one. You said you are. It's Vitel Chance de la Roque, and it's Connor Swale, another one that's going to be one to keep an eye on here tonight.
Absolutely. So Connor actually jumped this horse earlier today, just took him over a couple fences in our opening speed class. This horse has been strategically brought into this competition fresh. This is the horse that Connor will jump in the World Cup. This horse won 3 international Grand Prix classes since June, and he hasn't shown since a win at Saugerties in the 4-star Grand Prix. This is a really nice horse. Connor has one of the best strings that he's had in quite a while, and it allows him to kind of pick and choose where he's going to jump him. And you can see that this horse still has a bit of energy left in the tank here.
Well, Connor's not one known to go take it safely even through the opening round, so we'll see what he puts out here this evening.
Sweeps turn there really nicely to that oxer. Great ride there to the double. Yeah, exactly how you want to ride that turn. That's a line where you really have to go. That Liverpool oxer down there at the end, and now he's got to get his horse back because he comes in with a horse that already has a bit of energy, and now he had to kind of open a can of worms. Really patient there. Like a walk in the park.
Well, and a little bit of a little extra energy from Vitel Chance de la Roque here as we are on our way out. No surprise to anybody. Connor Swale is going to make it 2 for 2 on returning for the jump off, and again he was well under the time allowed, which is no surprise to anybody. And already we've only got 2 to go, and we've already got an exciting jump off I think tonight, Katie. So it's worth watching all the way through tonight already, and we're only 2 in. Up next, I don't see is he out. I think we're just coming in the gate. We got Kent Farrington on Austria, who you already gave us a little rundown in our pregame tonight.
This mare is just sensational. I know Kent thinks so highly of her. This 13-year-old mare, there's not much that she hasn't done. She can win in speed classes. She won the top 10 final, gave Kent his second win in that very prestigious event in Geneva. This horse is just a winner. And we'll see if he's going for it tonight or not. I would think he's going to save her for a little bit later in the week. But what a joy to see Kent here and with this wonderful horse.
And again, not to sound like a broken record, but what an evening to be out riding horses. It's about as nice as it can get here early in the fall in British Columbia. It's gorgeous. The temperature's nice. The setting's beautiful. I'm really enjoying being outside, and we'll see if Kent Farrington can make it 3 for 3 here.
So this horse jumped 5-star classes in Spruce recently and won 3 of them. That's how much this horse is really on her A game.
So far, so good over at the in-gate over there. I thought that careful plank may cause a little trouble, and so far it's staying up for everybody.
Well, I think it's an area where the riders are definitely going to take notice and be proactive about that. And sometimes when there's a jump that stands out as being difficult, you end up riding it better than the rest of the course.
Yeah, there's always, and then you find yourself with a little sleeper somewhere you didn't expect any trouble.
Ken is just so smooth and accurate with his track. Everything just comes up so nicely. He barely moves. Little quick there through the double, but gets down that line really well. Beautiful into the double, so patient.
They are really coming out of that on a bit more of a right-hand lean and avoiding that fence quite nicely. And another one well under, 63.07. We're 3 for 3. Kent Farrington will be joining Connor Swale and Robert Blanchette, and we are really warming ourselves up for a pretty quick jump off here tonight, Katie. And up next, we've got an Australian joining us, Rowan Willis on Ashton, Dakota, and 4 in. We haven't seen a Canadian yet, but we'll see if we can have 4 clear through to the jump off.
It's been a little bit unusual for what we've seen as of late in T-Bird. We haven't seen the locals come out yet, but we will very, very shortly. Again, great to have Rowan Willis here. He's one that's making the trip over after spending a little bit of time in Spruce earlier this month. He does not have Blue Movie here, but he's got, again, some lovely horses that he's getting to know and bringing up the grades here. And this one looks to be a very nice one. Hasn't had it very long, but they've really kind of gelled quite quickly.
Well, it's a new ride here. I haven't seen Rowan around here for a while, so it's see what he can put forth. We're 3 for 3 coming in. Let's see if we can go 4 for 4.
Yeah, between Kent and Rowan, these are kind of the 2 big invaders that we'll see here this week.
Well, it's been 18 months since we've welcomed the internationals around, so I'm happy to see some different flags around here.
That would include me, wouldn't it?
That would include you, Katie. It's been a long time, so it's welcome back to everybody. We're happy to have you. Seems to be moving pretty quickly at this.
You know, Rowan, that's definitely the type of horse that suits him, and he rides very well. And those that have watched him have so much success with Blue Movie, the mare that everyone kind of knows so well. It's a similar, very hot type.
Yeah, it's an exciting ride to watch, and so far so good for Rowan.
You know, there's a lot happening underneath, but most of the riders will tell you that it looks far more erratic than it feels. And he just stays so still and manages it well.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that's going to carry out of the double as well. Got just a little bit close there into that combination, and then you land farther out, and it really just creates the domino effect that it's designed to do.
Well, and there it is, 10AB. It proves to be the first spot for any trouble. Rowan Willis on Ashton, Dakota will not be returning tonight, so that's going to stick us with 3 in the jump-off. And finally on here on the list, we finally see the old red and white with the maple leaf. It's Canadian out here, and if we're going to have a Canadian, it might as well be I know that he's Spruce Meadows now, but we still like to consider Brian a Langley boy. So it's Brian Morton on Crusador Z.
Yeah, Crusader Z, just a lovely, lovely mare. Brian has a tremendous group of horses now as the stable rider for Spruce Meadows, a role that he's held a little bit over a year now. But of course, as you alluded to, this is his hometown. This is where he's grown up. And he told me he's staying at home with his parents this week, just a few minutes down the road.
Well, that's got to feel good then. It's got to be, nothing like, what do they say? Home is where the heart is. So let's see if that
absolutely
carries over into a ride tonight. Brian's been around Thunderbird for years, as long as I have been. He's had some great horses out here and a lot of great success. He's no stranger to winning on these grounds. So let's see if he can carry one through and put some Canada into the jump off for us.
Well, I must say, out of Brian's horses at Spruce, this one is definitely my favorite. I'm a bit biased. She's got a beautiful jumping style, a really great personality. I know Brian thinks quite highly of her, and he was talking about his two top mounts with me in Cadillac and this mare Crusader, and he said it's hard to pick what would be the top horse. It's a little bit 1A and 1B, and he really thinks that he has horses that can get him to the World Cup finals this year. So he really has his eye on Sunday, and Crusader, again, just looks like she's jumping in beautiful style.
Brian looks extremely comfortable, and height has not been an issue at all here. So let's just take it home here. We're coming near the end, and if Brian can hold her up, we're going to see him return.
Yeah, scope is definitely not the issue for this mare. He'll catch a little bit of hang time, so maybe the time is more so what's his mind from time to time. Little bit keen there off that oxer. Really great ride. And gets across the last.
And there we have it. We've got some Canadian contingent coming back for our jump off. Real happy for Brian Morton. Hopefully his parents are here or at least watching. The hometown boy makes it happen. We've got 4 in the jump off, and that's Brian Morton will be our 4th to go. Another one up next here that's pretty strong regular around Thunderbird Show Park. She's been here for years. I believe she's from Richmond, but it's Tracy Epp, and this time on Chicago.
Yeah, we'll see her in just a sec. I just want to note how close it was on that time. Brian just squeaks under that time allowed there for Crusader, so some really smart riding there.
Well, you did mention that the hang time that wasn't going to be an issue, or the hang time could be an issue on the time, so you nailed that one, Katie, and it's but he did get in under the time, so that's all that really counts, and we've got our 4th in the jump off. So again, as we're waiting on Tracy, just to recap, Robert Blanchette on Coupus led us off, and he went clear. Conor Swale out of Ireland, another Irish rider, came in second. Vittel Chance de la Roque, and he was also clear, and that gave us a jump off right off the bat. And of course, Kent Farrington on Austria came in 3rd, riding for the U.S., and he was our 3rd in. Rowan Willis had a couple down and missed out, but Brian Morton on Crusader Z came in as our 5th spot and made it our 4th jump off, and we've got ourselves a rider on the course now. So.
Yeah,
Great.
So we're supposed to see Tracy, but we looks like we've got Vanessa out here with Katinka, so we're going to switch up the order here a little bit.
So I just got a note. Sorry, I should have said Darren DeLynn on Buddy Bounce. One of my favorite alliterations from this summer has scratched. So Buddy will not be. Buddy Bounce and Darren DeLynn will not be going. So it's just Tracy and Vanessa that have swapped here. Vanessa and Katinka were, well, man, they put on a show in August. So let's see if she can carry this on. I'm going to hold my breath and let you talk this one, and hope Vanessa puts on a show for us and gets into the jump off here.
So you're going to make sure we take you off the hook there as not being responsible for hyping this one up too much. I'll let you have that.
All right.
Vanessa has just been, she's so consistent. She knows this mare inside and out, and they've really come together this summer, of course, winning the Atco Cup Grand Prix here during the Summer Fort Classic. Again, a mare that's lovely to watch, beautiful jumping style, super careful, and Vanessa it's a great partnership.
And in addition to the Atco Cup, she was 7/100ths of a second off Robert in the Volvo Cup the next Sunday, so she was there.
Oh gosh, some miscommunication there. Good on the mare to keep jumping, good on Vanessa to stay with it. Definitely jumping into shadows there, and I think the mare just kind of backed off and really shifted hard there to the left. So again, good on Vanessa to keep her on track. The mare wants to jump, that's for sure.
But as the sun's getting lower in the sky here on this fall evening, these shadows are just going to get longer, so we'll see if that becomes more and more of a factor as we continue on here.
I mean, up here in the booth, it's a magnificent view, but the sun's glaring right into us, and it is definitely casting some shadows into this ring. But Vanessa's got Katinka back in focus. They are going to take B out of the vertical combination, but I think there in the end it was really just to get back under control, regroup, and just use this as a bit of a schooling opportunity and just get around.
Well, that's a few came down from Vanessa. Disappointing, but I can guarantee she will be back, and she's a competitor, so I don't think we've heard the end of this for the week. She's going to have one more little look with Katinka at where the first problem started. Vanessa will be back. I have no doubt that we're going to see some more great things from her in the next couple of days still, so keep an eye out for her, and we'll see. Do you see who do we got out here now? Is Tracy still around?
So we've got Charlie Jacobs here getting
Charlie,
getting geared up.
Charlie and I had a great talk about the '88 Stanley Cup Finals earlier tonight. So hopefully that's he was good and relaxed. Let's see if that carries over onto the course.
You know what, Tyler? There aren't many co-commentators that share my passion for professional hockey, so I thank you for that, and I am happy to talk the NHL anytime, though I know Charlie is exceptional in what he does in balancing his role, of course, with the Boston Bruins, with this career that he takes very seriously and has great passion and talent for. I don't know how he does it sometimes with the back and forth. So much appreciation for it, but he has had a really great circuit at Spruce Meadows, got some new horses, and I'm really excited to see where he goes with them. They're really starting to come together. This will be another stiff test, but I think things are really on the rise for Charlie and his string at the moment.
Well, we'll worry about NHL Charlie in a couple weeks here still, but right now it's equestrian Charlie, and let's see if he can join our jump off tonight.
So this is Graven A, a 10-year-old mare. Again, Charlie took his string over to Spruce, and they really just seem to come together. They are newer horses for him, and it takes so much time to develop that partnership, but Spruce is a great place to do it. It's a big, imposing venue, and you're going to learn a lot and get a big education, and it's a similar situation here when you're coming under the lights and jumping into the shadows. Just came with a little bit too much there into that combination. They pull the front rail, and then it kind of carries forward down to that oxer at the end of the ring. But again, this is all kind of learning for Charlie and these horses, and it'll take lots away from this. Yeah, just kind of maybe could have held the mare off a little bit more coming into that double, and he'll finish nicely.
Well, time was okay. A few rails came down. That's unfortunate. That's Charlie Jacobs on Graven A, and it was he won't be returning this night, but he'll be back as well. And as you said, he's been showing quite well all summer, so we hope that continues for Charlie. And of course, good luck to his Bruins here in a few weeks as the NHL campaign gets underway. Where are we at? Do I see a Tiffany out there now, or are we? Yep, Tiffany's out there. She's another local favorite. Doesn't get it's about as Langley as you get. Once again, she's disappeared all over the world, but she's always Langley's girl when she comes back. Showed very well here a number of times in her life. It's don't even need to say it. It's Tiffany Foster on Hamilton.
Well, certainly she would be a hometown favorite. There's going to be a few extra cheers for Tiffany Foster at T-Bird. She's won so much here. She's so vivacious and has such a wonderful personality, so much passion for the sport. She's great for the sport. And she too, she's got some younger horses that she's been developing here at T-Bird. And they're really coming on. And this one, Hamilton, I would definitely say is the one that's farthest along of the group. But it's hard to pick a favorite because they're all really lovely quality horses.
She's put on some great shows in Nations Cups here over the past, really to the delight of the crowds. And
shines in Nations Cup, that's for sure. She is Team Canada all the way.
Yep. So let's we always cheer for Tiffany a little harder when she's around. So let's go, Tiff.
And just got a little bit close there, really rode to the base of that vertical. Again, it's in the shadows. It's a technical fence that we haven't seen come down a lot, but there's a reason it's set the way that it is.
So after a few early, so a lot of success early on, we're trying. So maybe these shadows that you were speaking of really are playing a bit more of a factor as the sun gets lower in the sky, Katie.
This is the hardest time to ride a horse. If you were to ask me, what time would I least want to ride, it would probably be now. And everyone wants to jump under the lights, but it's a tough time when you're riding around this 4 or 5 o'clock kind of happy hour.
And especially at this time of year, with the sun's quite low here in the southwest sky. So it's the shadows are noticeably getting longer as we proceed here through the class.
And you see him do exactly what we kind of talked about, Tyler, with that combination. Her horse shifts in the middle of it, kind of bounces off of the signage and the tents, and does take B down. And then we'll also add the last to that tally.
And she had a first to go through a touch of a time fault there, picking up 1 time fault for 13 faults total. And after 4 of our first 5 went clear, we're still stuck at that 4 in the jump off. Again, one more time. That's Robert Blanchette on Kupis, Connor Swale on Vital Chance de la Roque, Kent Farrington on Austria was our third, and then Brian Morton on Crusader Z out of Canada here. Our local Langley boy made it 4, so we've got 4 coming back in the jump-off tonight in the $75,000 welcome powered by Grant Productions here at Thunderbird Show Park on about as beautiful a fall evening as we could ask for here, Katie. And up next here we got Hillary McNerney on Chuck.
14-year-old gelding by Cassis 2. Hillary here training with Kent and building up a very nice string of her own.
Not wasting a lot of time to get going here either.
You know, that first line is pretty friendly. You do jump, you know, kind of canter right into those shadows, but they kind of encompass the whole fence, not just kind of casting a little bit. And then it's a very normal kind of 9 there to that vertical, starting off very nicely here.
To be honest with you, the way the shadow's getting longer and longer over at 1, it might actually be helping
Yes.
the longer the shadow gets. So.
Now that's a technical line right there. That double gets very tight, and then you have to go. Gets a, wow, what an effort by her horse. Gets a flyer there to the Marble Hill Oxer. Still gets across and comes back to the double of verticals.
And there we have it.
Wow, a little bit of a rub at the last, but she's going to get a clear. Really nice.
64-31, well under the time allowed, and we're back on a winning streak here. Hillary McNerney on Chuck, and we've got 5 in the jump off, Katie. It's hopefully that breaks the streak, and we can finish strong here with 4 still to go.
Yeah, and we're going to see, I know you mentioned earlier we had a little bit of a question here. We talked to Robert Blanchette during the course walk, and he was kind of on the fence whether he was going to bring forward his second ride here on the start list, Chardonnay, actually the horse that won the Volvo Cup Grand Prix that we talked about was so exciting here.
One of the best jump-offs I've maybe ever seen, definitely the best of the year so far, so hopefully the bar's been set on exciting jump-offs. We'll see what we have in store for us this week, but it's going to be tough to beat that. I don't think I see him even out there. I'm not trying to get a look across to the warm-up ring directly. It's due west of us here right now. Oh, so I'm looking at the wrong ring.
We have a really luxurious new warm-up ring here this week.
I'm looking directly west. I'm thinking that's a real quiet
You're
warm-up ring.
You're a creature of habit. That's all.
Yeah, they can't throw these wrenches into my plans here at Thunderbird. I've been around here too long to make changes now. But anyway, now that I look at the correct warm-up ring, there's plenty of action out there, and it's there is a couple of. So Robert could be out there.
I don't see him. He could be behind our beautiful LED screen, our Longines timing board.
It's again, we didn't get an update on Tracy up in Chicago. Did not ride. I haven't seen her around either. So that's a possible scratch. We'll try to get an update on that for everybody. And then we are waiting on Robert Blanchette on Chardonnay right now, which would be his second ride of the evening.
My thought is we're probably waiting on Connor and Theo. And they're going to let him school because he's probably warming up on his second. That would be my guess here because I do not see Robert here.
We are moving along really quickly. So Connor was only 7 rides ago,
right.
So it might have taken him a while. He might still be getting Theo ready to go. So
I do see him. He just took a fence, so I think he's probably finishing up his warm up. I just saw him jump a vertical.
I just shot a quick message over to the in-gate, see if we can get some info and fill everybody in. And if not, everybody, I can tell you that I am certainly enjoying the weather this evening. This is about as good as it gets out here in beautiful British Columbia. It's, I was saying to Katie earlier that it was this is a good advertisement for Tourism BC right now because it doesn't get much better than this for fall weather.
I feel like this is just a wonderfully kind welcome back to me from Langley, BC and Thunderbird Show Park because this is just picturesque weather. And, you know, you are fully talking to the token Floridian here. I don't do well with cold temperatures. I love T-Bird and I will endure them for T-Bird. And when I say cold, it's not actually cold, but it's cold for me.
Cold for you.
But this is perfect. I could take this every day.
Well, I did get word. Now we are waiting on Connor and Theo, so that leaves us just 3 to go after Kent Farrington will return after that on Landon, and then Rowan Wilson's back one more time. And so we're coming near the end. This has gone by real quickly, which is I'm really enjoying myself here tonight, Katie. It's been a great way to be back at Thunderbird. So hopefully we get a really exciting jump off after all of this as well.
Well, certainly the numbers would suggest that it's going to be quite competitive.
Well, yeah, not just the numbers, but the names as well. Like Robert goes. I mean, Connor he goes fast no matter what. And Brian Morton likes to go as well. And here we go. I think we've got Connor and Theo rolling in right now. Theo put on a real show in the Volvo Cup for us, and it was always exciting to watch. We always the Irish always have a lot of personality. So let's see if we can follow up on the Hillary McNerney success that we just finished off on and throw another one in the jump off.
This 9-year-old gelding has really just been a breakout star here at T-Bird. And looking to continue that, just a horse that I think has a really bright future. I mean, he just jumped his first 160, here in August. And Connor really wasn't sure if he was going to go in that class. But the horse has been performing so well that he stepped him up. And the first time out, the only rail against him was a really technical .60 plank. Yeah, so if that's the fence that's going to come down for you,
It was a tricky plank too. It was set right off the Liverpool over there with kind of where the jump crew sits. It was a tricky one all the way across. So
and the horse immediately learned. This is just one that's picking it up quickly, very fast, and seems to have the jump in the scope as well.
Well, here we go. Let's see if he can be the first to put 2 in this afternoon.
So if anyone has put the curse on for the hype, it would be me with this one. So I will take your heat there, Tyler.
Oh no, you just got to call it as you see it. There's no jinxes. It's going to happen the way it happens. So, and I don't think Connor. I think that he just brings the luck of the Irish with him where he goes.
A bit more than luck. He is such a technician. I just love watching him. The horses love him. He just really gives them the freedom to jump. He's a soft rider, kind of always, even out of the tack, but so tall through his body. And so good at just keeping on the pace.
Yeah, pace is, you don't watch the clock when Connor's in the ring.
No, not very often. If there's a time fault for Connor, it was planned. Oh. Good effort there. Horse kind of shifted in.
Oh, a little late in that. The front feet hook the front side, so there'll only be one Connor returning for us tonight. Oh, did he have a? Oh no, I thought he. Did they extend the time? That's a 67:05. I was told 67 was the time allowed. It looks like so. Possibly at 68. We might have had misinformation on the time allowed, but regardless, that's 4 faults for Connor Swale on Theo. He will not be returning on that one, but he is, of course, returning on an earlier ride. We got 2 to go. Kent Farrington on land and should be up next. We have had some shuffles tonight, so I don't want to stake my whole reputation on who's coming into the ring next, but we will see what happens here. That's real unfortunate for Connor, but again, Connor's going to be all over this place for the next few days here, and I'm sure that we're going to see Theo back and Theo be successful still.
Yeah, the horse kind of just started to bounce off that wall there into the double, and it jumped it really well, but it kind of just carried on with him, and he had a very inside track to the last and just, got a little bit underneath the fence. But, it was a great round, and certainly more to see from that horse.
Well, one of the things that I enjoy about coming back over to the sand as opposed to the grass is it's really easy to see the tracks, as where the horses are going and who's coming inside and outside. So I've been kind of paying attention to that a lot on them, and it's a nice visual helper for me as I'm seeing which lines people are taking. Again, we are here, and we're coming down near the end of the opening round here at the $75,000 welcome, powered by Grant Productions here at Thunderbird Show Park, on an absolutely beautiful autumn evening. It's about as good as it gets here in BC. We love our autumn weather around here. And just 2 remaining. We're waiting on Kent Farrington and Landon and Rowan Willis to come back one more time. We do have, 5 into the jump off here, Katie. Hillary McNerney is our last to go through on Chuck cleanly. Brian Morton on Crusader Z, a local Langley boy. Even if Spruce Meadows wants to claim him for now, we're always going to call him Langley. And Kent Farrington in Austria. Connor Swale on Vitel Chance de Laroque, and Robert Blanchette on Kupus were the three that led us off and the three that went clear to open things up. So we do have a pretty exciting 5-man jump off coming back thus far, with still a couple to go that could always be, nobody will be surprised to see either of these guys add to this already exciting jump off we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is Kent Farrington one more time. We'll see if he can double us up here tonight. So nobody's, it's all one rider, one horse all the way through our jump off so far. So see if Kent can double up.
This is a young horse, just 8 years old, 8-year-old stallion. I watched this horse in the jog yesterday, and this horse definitely fits the bill for a Kent Farrington horse. He has lots of blood, very modern, and looking to be certainly one for the future. Jumped the 3-star classes at Spruce, but still a very new ride for Kent. So young horses are still getting to know one another, but really great results in the 3-star division at Spruce.
Sun continuing to get lower. I'm really seeing these shadows start growing now. So we'll see if those are going to be a real factor for some of the earlier riders that went through that didn't have these when they come back for the jump off.
Wow. Well, it doesn't take long to see why Kent saw something in this horse, that's for sure. Loads of scope, covers the ground really well. Wow. Kind of backs off a bit. Kent gives a great ride. And that's just where you see that rider's instinct immediately kick in, react immediately. And it's about being effective, and Kent is one of the very best at that.
Looking confident so far. I always worry about what I say here tonight. We seem to be jinxing people all over the place, but it's still, everything's looking good so far. Let's as we're coming into the home stretch here, Kent.
Takes his time, really creates some shape there in that line, lines up the double beautifully, right on the track here to the last as well. Yeah, and no problem.
And there we have a double up, our first one of the day, and it'll be our only one of the day, it looks like. So Kent Farrington on Landon's going to make it 6 in the jump off. This is really shaping up, Katie. We could have some excitement here in our very near future. And it's with one to go here. It's Akita Eindeken Z. Did I get that one right? How did I do on that? I should have probably read a... Can we just go Akita? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Rowan Willis, one more time. Let's see what we got here as we try to close this out the first round.
You know, of the two horses that Rowan brings forward tonight, this is the one, while younger, he's actually had the ride on a little bit longer, this 11-year-old mare. Took a nice win at Spruce in the 3-star division. Also got a good bit of miles at Tryon.
Well, 6 clear of the 12 we've had to go, so we'll see if we can just nudge over that 50% mark and add one more here. Rowan Willis out of Australia. Or riding under the Australian flag anyway.
Yeah, he's based in the States now, but he does ride for Australia and has done so very successfully.
Well, the Australia, Katie Laurie was here last fall and did nothing but win everything.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The Australians in the fall at T-Bird seem to have good fortune, so...
It was hard pressed to find somebody hotter than Katie Laurie that week. My word.
It was ridiculous, honestly. I don't think I've seen much like that around
and with
here
multiple
ever.
horses.
Yeah, well,
everyone she brought out.
First, second, third sometimes. It was just ridiculous, but...
Well, and it was recognized. You know, Rowan was named the alternate for the Olympic Games. Katie Laurie was put on the Australian team. Unfortunately, that team never actually materialized, but Katie and Edwina Tops-Alexander were able to ride as individuals in Tokyo. Oh, good little rattle there.
It stayed up, though, for giving cups. We haven't had a lot of that tonight, so we haven't really seen how temperamental these jumps were going to be, but that did take a pretty good knock and stay up.
We all need a reminder of how light and delicate these fences are. It does not take much for them to fall.
Go, time's becoming up. Oh.
You know, he really rode into that line well. That's the key. You really have to stay out and create some space to that line. It's definitely set on the half stride. Unfortunately, he'll just take down B. A little bit unlucky. I thought he rode in very well to that line.
Well, that's unfortunate. Joining Connor is I believe our only other four-faulter this night. It was a interesting class, a lot of different mixes, a lot of different rides that we saw out there, but that does bring us to a close here, Katie, as we're going to start, the jump crew is going to take out and start setting the jump off. And quick recap again for everybody at home on the $75,000 welcome tonight here at Thunderbird Show Park, powered by Grant Productions. We started off hot. Robert Blanchette led us off with Kupis and went clear, followed by Connor Swale on the 2 spot on Vitel Chance de la Roque, and he went clear. And then we went 3 for 3 with Ken Harrington on Austria. We were skipped the ride, and then Brian Morton on Crusader Z made sure that Canada had a spot in the jump off, and that was 4. We waited a while until Hillary McNerney came in on Chuck, and she gave us the 5th to go in the jump off. And finally, with our second last ride of the night, Kent Farrington came in on Landon, and that'll give us our 6-man jump off that we're going to be taking a look at that line he took and see what anybody takes off of it afterwards.
Really nicely there. It's a little bit of a zigzag to get back to that vertical at 3, which noted the plank is no longer on top, so that allows the riders to be a little bit bolder there to that fence.
Well, that's a pretty tight turn back to 1. Katie.
Really nice back to 1. Go. And 8 right across the last.
40.68. The standard has been set by Robert Blanchette on Kupis. He goes clear. We have ourselves a clear one, so that's it. 40.68 is what everybody's going to be shooting for, and shoot for it they will. Connor Swale up next on Vidal Chance de la Roque, and I know Connor doesn't like to lose, so we'll see how hard he has the pedal down here when he comes in. I'm still now this low sun is just directly in my eyes now. Do you see where
we might need some sunglasses commentating from this vantage point. But Robert Blanchette came in, did exactly what he needed to do. He sets the standard, puts the pressure on, have to go clear now. And he was very quick. You know, he leaves the door open a little bit in places, but when you're first to go, it's kind of the card that you're dealt. And it becomes a bit of strategy and a mental game for the riders that follow him. I think that was a lovely ride for his horse.
He came, coming out of 10B, he came really high up against, our Plant Life Liverpool here, or whatever you want to call it.
Our little oasis.
Our little oasis up near the Longines clock. Like, he came really high up on that. I don't know. It's tough looking at the angle from here if you can go tighter, but it'll be really interesting to see what people can shave off that turn. I know Connor turns real tight on things like that, so we'll see what he does here as the second to go here in the jump off.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And Robert's on a little bit of a bigger bodied horse, and you'll see some of those smaller, modern, real careful types, being a little bit tighter on the turns there, and that's just, naturally a little bit more playing to their strength.
You'll recall on our Volvo Cup jump off in August back here, just a few hundred yards to our right, Connor took a jump that he looked like he almost just jumped directly sideways in the jump off. So he knows how to cut corners. So here he is entering the in gate as we speak, and this could be good. 40.68 the time to beat. This is Connor Swale on Vitel Chance de la Roque.
This horse has a lot of energy, is very fresh. We could see a little bit of exuberance here that could cost some time. And this is the horse that he's planning to ride Sunday in the World Cup. I don't see him going for it, all out on this particular horse.
Well, it did have the legs were moving a little bit in the corners. He was kicking and bucking a bit, but he did get around clear. Let's see. Connor knows how to get around a jump off, so don't count him out just yet.
Oh, this is a class with a really great prize money, and he is as competitive as they come. So I will not be surprised if I see him tearing around, but I do know that he also has his eye toward later in the week with this horse.
Of course he does, but at any rate, this is going to be fun. Look at these shadows are really getting long now. Like our light pole tower is right across the whole course now. So, and again, he jumped quite early when the sun was quite a bit higher in the sky. So we'll see if that plays any role at all here. Oh, and there's a kick.
It almost makes the 9 work out better for him, because otherwise it gets a little bit tight, and he got there on a nice little bit more forward distance.
So he was quite high against our Oasis as well. So.
Oh, beautiful there.
All right. Here's another spot we're going to really watch the turn coming out of 4 back to 1 here.
Watch his angle to this oxer. Oh, kind of falls out a little bit behind. Great
But no
recovery.
issues. All right, we're watching the clock now, and this is quick, Katie. This is a really quick time we have set here, and he's a little extra energy, but there's your new leader, 39.35 for Connor. He edges out just over a second faster than Robert, so no huge surprise there that Connor Swale went fast. We have a new leader, 2 clear through the jump off, and 39.35 is your new time to beat.
You know, that was just Connor being expedient, having a good plan, and a naturally quicker horse. Really nice round there. The horse still is very fresh, as you can see. Lost a little bit of time there up that first line, but plenty left in the tank for the rest of the week, and Connor will get a great piece of this.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a super fun ride to watch as usual. I like a horse that shows a little spirit as he gets around, even though the riders probably aren't huge fans of that. It's at least fun for us to watch. And Kent Farrington up next on Austria, and the same synopsis you just gave with for Connor, thinking that he might want to save this horse a little, is one you gave for Kent Farrington earlier. So we'll see if Kent Farrington keeps the pedal down. Now the competitive spirit kicks in, and he just wants to win this thing.
Well, this horse is so naturally quick. I think it would be quite easy for them to take the lead just naturally, and with the experience here. So I would not be surprised if they go, straight to the top, just kind of being normal. That's just the way this pair is. And of course, Kent has a younger horse that I think, coming later and last to go, that he might maybe try some different things on with the younger horse. But this should be pretty easy for that.
Well, we're clock watching now. Again, for everybody at home, that time to beat is 39.35 seconds. We just saw Connor Swale set it, and we'll see if Kent Farrington can beat it here tonight. Thunderbird Show Park again. I'm sure if you're watching, you can see what a beautiful evening it is out here. I'm really enjoying myself. It's too bad it was such a short class. I could do this for another hour or two, Katie. But in the meantime, let's see what Kent Farrington in Austria can do.
Let's invite some more horses out here.
Yeah, can we do that? Is it too late to just call them in?
Maybe for this class. We can create another class for later. Right off the bat, you just see how naturally quick this horse is.
Yeah, he's moving here. So he seems to have...
Oh, and you know what? He had a great plan. He was quick, and then he kind of tried to shift in so he could have a better angle back to this double, and unfortunately that rail falls.
Yeah, he did come in a lot more. He did adjust his line coming into 10B more than we've seen everybody else so far, but we'll see. We're keeping an eye on him. Let's see. His fast 4 Falter can still do pretty well here this afternoon. So,
Well, now you see he's just going to regroup and tone things down.
So he's slowing her down. That's unfortunate. But as you were saying, Kent's here. He's here for the week, and he's got his eye on other things. So he's not finished. Kent Farrington and Austria are finished for today, but they will be back and be strong later in the week. Up next is Crusader Z, our Langley boy, Brian. He's out there. He's eager. He's ready to go. I'm sorry to everybody at Spruce Meadows. I know I probably shouldn't keep calling him a Langley boy, but he is in our hearts.
This is still his hometown.
Yeah, so he's
absolutely
riding out of Spruce Meadows now, though. Brian Morton, he is our Langley boy, Crusader Z. He likes to go fast. He likes to win. He's won countless times over here over the years, so he's comfortable. He's feeling good. Let's see what he can put up here. And again, one more time, Connor Swale, 39.35. That's what we're looking to beat for all you clock watchers.
And I know we're sad that Brian's, not here, maybe here all the time anymore, but we have to be thrilled for the opportunity he has riding for Spruce Meadows.
For sure.
It's an incredible job. I know, we love him, and it's hard not to love Brian. He's just a hardworking, genuine human being. But this is so great for him, and he was saying this is really the first time that he gets to focus just on riding. These riders are professionals. They're running businesses and riding for Spruce. He can focus just on the horses. They got there so forward, and he was trying to get the mare back, and she got a bit keen, and there was just miscommunication there. Brian wanted to wait one more stride, and Crusader was just ready to go. So they're going to take that vertical down.
They're forcing their way through this a little bit. Looks like they're just a touch out of sync here for the jump off.
Well, she just looks a little bit keen.
We're finishing strong here. He's got it back together now. A little wider. He'll come home nice and easy.
And finishes well. This mare is a big stride and just was a little bit strong and going.
All right, that's they have that down as a 4 falter for Brian coming out of that. Unfortunate for Brian. I'm sure he's a little disappointed. It's always fun to win in your hometown, but it's still, again, Brian will be back. We haven't seen the last of him, and after a little bit of gap in our performances this afternoon, whenever we had a little lull in clear rounds, but that was broken by Hillary McNerney on Chuck, and she's up next again, riding under the another one under the American flag. I know after a year of not seeing many visitors around here, which I only have one Canadian in a class or in a jump off at least, is a kind of a nice little rare treat for us here.
Well, we've got a lovely international field, and there are only 8 World Cup legs now in the North American League. These riders are here with their eye toward points and qualifying for the World Cup finals. So you are getting riders from all over. That this is a deliberate plan for them, and you can't imagine too many nicer venues than this to come out here and kick off the World Cup season. So lovely to be here and treated to some great riders coming from all over.
It's always exciting. It's one of the best things about coming to Thunderbird. We have such a nice range of people that show up here regularly. Even we have so many flags that fly here. Even on the best times when the World Cup comes around, it's always so fun to welcome the internationals. And I know we missed everybody so much for the last 18 months, last summer and last fall. So great to have everybody back.
Gets the 9 really nicely.
Really quick turn out of that as well. So that's one of the better. I think
Yep,
that's
got to get her
turns.
horse's eye on this double. Oh, good effort. You could tell he didn't quite have his sights set on where he was going. She gets him refocused.
Oh, a little knock, but she stays up.
Could prove to be a lucky rub. Fans a touch wide, but she's going to line herself up nicely for this final line.
Well, we're a little slower than Connor, but a nice. It was a noisy one, but it was clean. 43.03. That's our third fastest so far. So that's going to move her into third place this evening. Connor Swale in his 39.35, still hanging on to things right now, and we've got one to go. Could be a bit of a wait, waiting back for Kent Farrington here.
Yeah, we're going to have to let Kent warm up on his next mount. Don't be surprised if he still comes away with a win here.
Yeah, no, anything can still happen. One of the things, how many times over the years have we seen it? The last one in is the one that takes the prize. We know what has to be done.
He's
already had a look at this jump off as well, so I'm sure he has some thoughts about how he's going to approach it his second time around. Again, just a quick recap. That was your third fastest clean round, there, with Hillary McNerney on Chuck at 43.03. Second place was Robert Blanchett on Koopas, who led us off with 40.68. And of
Great
course,
ride for him.
Connor Swale came in right after him and shaved us, 1.3 seconds off that with a 39.35, and that's your standing is your time to beat right now. Right now in fourth place, Brian Morton. He had the 4 faults on Crusader Z, and of course, Rowan Willis, Karen Farrington, first time around on Austria, had the 8 faults, and that's your 5th place right now. We have one remaining to go, and that is Kent Farrington, so we'll see what he can bounce back on us with here and put some pressure on him. Does he have a 39.34 or lower in him, Katie?
Oh, absolutely. The one question is that this is a young horse. It's just 8 years old, so we'll see how much he wants to kind of push the envelope here. This could be a great learning experience to kind of test things a little bit faster. Of course, we do have to consider the conditions, the time of the day, the shadows, and all of these things. Those are things that a horse of that age hasn't seen much of. So we'll just have to see what his strategy is there. But the door is certainly open, a quick time, but not unbeatable, and this is a naturally fast horse.
I can tell you, I don't know, Ken Farrington could do everybody else a real big favor here, because I don't know if you want to let Connor Swale start winning this early in the week, because once he gets on a roll, there's nothing stopping him. So if Connor starts winning early, it could be a long week for the rest of the riders.
I was covering Thunderbirds tournaments remotely in August, and poor Connor, I just had to harass and call him every day because he just kept winning. I said, I'm so sorry that I have to keep bothering you. And he's like, if it means I won the class, it's no bother.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'll be back finally on site in September, and I'll bother you in person.
I wonder if we should just get him to maybe write out a list of generic quotes for us, and you can just have those to fill in where needed. Because once Connor gets going, I mean, he's been doing this for years. Like the Irish team's been coming around, whether it's Nations Cups and whatnot, and like Connor has been a just when he comes out, he's just an immediate threat every time. And again, once he gets on a roll, he's tough to beat. So. Again, sitting in the top spot right now at 39-35. It's as usual, it's not a huge surprise to see it. He's still in the warm-up ring, it looks like, so we might still have a minute to wait here. As the again, gorgeous evening. We're starting to get a bit of a breeze up here in our tower, but it's pretty nice that here in the fall in British Columbia, way out here on the west coast of Canada, that we can actually be sitting outside here in t-shirts on a sunny evening with no overcover. So I'll take it.
Yeah, it is absolutely stunning evening.
It's again, we're at the $75,000 welcome powered by Grant Productions at Thunderbird Show Park. It is World Cup week out here in the fall. I know last year due to circumstances the fall show got added and it was such a success. I think it's a staple around here now, and I sure hope it keeps up because I'm really enjoying myself, Katie.
Yeah, well, it gave Thunderbird the opportunity to utilize this ring and see what they could dress it up to, because typically it is the secondary arena to the grass field of Fort Grand Prix Arena, and I think everyone saw how absolutely stunning of a venue it was. And when you're coming into World Cup season, having a slightly smaller arena, it doesn't take much to be smaller than the field. It's not that small, but it creates more of that indoor type competition feel, which is what we build up to in the World Cup season. So it's just perfect, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Well, as usual, Thunderbird does not cut corners on aesthetics or how they keep their grounds everywhere, not just the Grand Prix field, but they've set up their, the cabana style viewing area and dinner area here on the north side of it, and they've moved the bleachers and seated areas over from the Grand Prix field, and it really has that stadium and competition feel out here. It really feels something special. The footing's always gorgeous out here, and the fan support. I know that I've heard that Sunday's World Cup event's already sold out, so the crowd's going to be fantastic.
Awesome.
And fantastic atmosphere out here. It's just great to see, and again, it's just to be out here in a nice fall evening, and for those that haven't visited us out here, when the west coast of Canada has nice weather, it doesn't get much better, and so it's just a great evening at Thunderbird. And I think that do we have a final rider entering the in-gate as we speak. We managed to ramble our way through the break, and this is it. This is it. We're watching the clock. 39.35 set by Connor Swales, the time to beat, and this is the one that the last one that can do it. And again, it's Kent Farrington this time on Landon. Second time through the jump off. We'll see what he's learned.
Yeah, well, there's no question this horse has the ability. There's no question Kent can take the win. It's just going to be, this horse is young, so what kind of experience is Kent looking to give him tonight?
Yet again, he's coming back over to that, looking at how he's going to approach 7, so obviously he thinks that's the important part.
You saw with Hillary McNerney's horse, a more experienced horse, still kind of take a little bit of a second to get his eye on that combination. So it is a bit of a blind turn there.
Again, like I know for myself, I'm starting to really have difficulty seeing and trying to track this. So I imagine it's probably not a fantastic riding conditions out there as far as lighting goes. When you're heading back towards that sun, it's got to be tough to look at.
Need some shades.
This is it. We're underway. In a few seconds, we're going to know who won this thing, Katie.
Beautifully done to the 9. Actually stays out a little bit so he doesn't get there too close. You can see he's not flying here. It's a young horse. He wants to give him a good experience, but he's being efficient, and the horse is naturally quick. Beautiful.
So not a ton of urgency moving around. He is going cleanly. He does already. We can announce that Connor's going to take this one, and we'll see where Kent finishes up here.
Beautiful round, great experience for that young horse. You can see he's definitely got some engine under there. Crowd gives their applause, and he kind of scoots a little bit. That is a super talented horse to watch for the future, and a great experience under his belt.
Absolutely. That was 2 through, 2 clear for Kent Farrington. He's going to take second place and fourth place tonight. But again, under that green, white, and orange that we've seen fly here so many times, Connor Swale, Vitel Chancellor is your winner tonight. And I don't know that anybody should be too surprised by that, Katie.
No, that would be absolutely no surprise whatsoever, and certainly a very high probability that it won't be the last time that he leads a victory gallop this week. Knows this venue inside and out. That's a top horse. Again, he brought in strategically fresh here. You saw some of that exuberance on course, and the horse is going to get more level as he goes throughout the week. I think Connor set him up really well, and he didn't have to go full tilt to win tonight.
Nope, absolutely not. It was a super fun class, and if that's what that was a nice way to ease into the week, and I think there's some pretty exciting things to come. So let's just recap that jump off one more time for everyone at home. Rowan Willis, Ashton Dakota is going to take 6th spot. Right behind him, a 4-faulter tonight, unfortunately, for our hometown boy, Brian Morton on Crusader Z. In fourth, what you just saw it happen. Kent Farrington on Landon, 45.4. They did go clear, but a little slower, so that's going to net them 4th. Third, coming down in 3rd place, Hillary McNerney had 2 great rides tonight on Chuck. Looked really comfortable out there. She was a 43.03. 2nd place, leading us off tonight, the whole jump off and the first round of the day, was Robert Blanchette on Coopus. That was a 40.68, and just minutes after him, Connor Swale, your winner on Vitel Chancellor, came through 39.35, and just getting that feeling that might be a sign of things to come this week, Katie.
A little bit of foreshadowing.
Well, it's you don't need to be Nostradamus to see the future on this one, because we've been here so many times. But you know what? A lot of great names. I have a lot of faith. Vanessa Manic's going to be back. There's can't imagine for a second Brian Morton's done trying out here. Robert Blanchette's always a threat. Like, it's just a great field, great competitors out here this week.
Gotta get into me.